I'd like to call the July 6th, 2021 Vernon Hills Village Board meeting to order. Roll call, please.
President Byrne, trustees Markwart,
Here.
Forster,
Here.
Oppenheim,
Here.
Cook,
Here.
Takaoka,
Here.
Schenk.
Here.
Here.
We have a quorum. We also need a motion to appoint a mayor pro tem.
I would say for Tom Cook to take the position of president. I can't even say it.
I'll take that as a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. If there's no further comments or discussion, roll call, please.
President Byrne, trustees Markwart,
Aye.
Forster,
Aye.
Oppenheim,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Takaoka,
Aye.
Schenk.
Aye.
Okay.
We have a
are
quorum.
now-
Congratulations.
Thank you. We are now called to order, so if everyone would please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Are there any citizens wishing to address the board on something other than what's on our agenda here? Because there is no committee of the whole, correct? Okay. Okay, since there are none, the first thing on our agenda tonight is the second retirement of Mark Fleischhauer.
Actually, four. It's been
Well, third and fourth will come down the
two
road.
years.
Well, yeah, we'll get to those. Yeah. I think it's only the second from here, though, right?
Second here.
Only the second here, correct.
Today, we celebrate the career of Mark Fleischhauer and his dedicated service to the village of Vernon Hills. Mark previously served as deputy chief at the Palatine Police Department from 1980 to 2000, during which time he earned his master's degree in justice administration from Western Illinois University and graduated from the Southern Police Institute's Administrative Officers course. Mark was selected as the chief of police for Vernon Hills Police Department and served from April 10th, 2000 until his retirement on June 11th, 2017. Mark was enjoying his retirement when he was called to serve as interim chief of police at the Highland Park Police Department from 2017 to 2018. Once again, while enjoying his retirement, Mark was called to serve as village manager for the village of Vernon Hills on March 16, 2018 to this day, July 6, 2021. During his tenure as village manager, Mark initiated the contract for financial and administrative services to be provided by the accounting firm of Lauterbach and Amen, and the contract for legal services to be provided by Klein, Thorpe and Jenkins. Mark's achievements include the establishment of the Hawthorn Mall TIF District, which created a partnership with the village's public sector partners and Centennial Real Estate to ensure over $250 million is invested in the renovation of Hawthorn Center. Mark's tenure also included the efficient and effective delivery of services to include the oversight of municipal operations during the coronavirus pandemic, all the while ensuring the health, welfare, and safety of the community and workforce. And Mark is joined by his family, which includes Mary Beth and his children Jason, Sherry, and Matt, and grandchildren Gracie, Ella, Jackson, and Layla. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Tom Cook Jr., President Pro Tem of the Village Board of Trustees, do hereby express our sincerest appreciation to Mark Fleischhauer for his years of dedicated service to the residents and employees of the village in Vernon Hills, and wish him and his family well in this his third and hopefully final retirement.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Cook. You know, it wasn't just maybe a month and a half ago that Trustee Schultz sat up here and probably had the same thoughts going through his mind. Very humbled at how many people showed up here. And I just want to say it's been an honor and privilege to serve as the village manager for the village of Vernon Hills for the past 3.5 years. And I would sincerely like to thank Mayor Byrne and all of the trustees, both present and past, for their confidence and trust that you placed in me at one of the most important times in the development and redevelopment of the village. And while I appreciate all the kind words that you outlined in the proclamation, I want to make it clear that not a single one of those was, except maybe the fact that I got married, was accomplished by myself alone.
No, even that wasn't accomplished by you alone.
That's good,
No,
too.
no, I'll stick up for you.
Whatever. But every one of those things that you mentioned is the culmination of the result of a fantastic team of professionals that we have working here for the village. And I would be remiss if I didn't say thanks to John, to Mike, to Pat, to Kristen, who I believe is upstairs, Dave, who's unable to be here tonight, Mike Stordo, who's upstairs, and Jim Ferrolo. Without their dedication and leadership, the village would not be in the place that it is today in the fantastic position. Thank you to all of you. And while I still have at least 2 more minutes, I want to thank all the men and women of the Vernon Hills Police Department, Public Works, and the Village Hall. There's too many people to mention, but I want to make sure that I thank all of them for supporting me and making my temporary return to the village as smooth as possible. And in conclusion, I just want to say that I think the board has made an excellent choice in selecting Kevin Timony as the next village manager. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move on, because there will be lots of other stuff to be said about this a little later on this evening, so we'll get to that then.
Can I say something really quick?
Sure, if a board member wants to address this, please, by all means.
Well, first of all, Mark, it's been a pleasure working with you. You know, I was a trustee for the first time, and, you know, Mark sort of stepped in during a time here where there was some controversy with the village manager position, and yes, it was interim. But I'll tell you what, this company couldn't have run any better, you know, with a full-time person, with this interim person, because, you know, he spearheaded, him and Jim, you know, getting D73 and, you know, getting them on board with the TIF and, you know, negotiating on behalf of, you know, the schools, making sure that they were taken care of. And, you know, it's things like that, you know, make Mark such an effective leader. The great thing is, being new as a trustee, you know, he was very approachable. So, you know, I could call him anytime. We could meet for breakfast, discuss stuff in the village. And, you know, you don't always get that with people in leadership positions. And that's also why this village runs so well, because he's very approachable and always accessible. So just want to say that. It's been a pleasure. I know where to find you, so I will definitely text you when I'm in your neighborhood.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Anybody in the audience that's not attending the festivities later that would like to say something now? So I don't have a problem, because he's been here a while.
That may be part of the problem.
Okay, then the next thing is to replace you. The appointment of Kevin Timony as village manager, effective July 6, 2021.
Yep, and just as a reminder, Kevin was appointed by the board, I believe it was May 18th? Good guess. So tonight, we're just going to administer the oath of office.
Okay. Do you need the mic?
Received by my wife Lauren, my son Bo, my daughter Ellie, and my daughter Eva.
Welcome. Congratulations. congratulations to you, too. You're the first family of Vernon Hills now. Kevin, if you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kevin Timony,
I, Kevin Timony,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of village manager
the duties of the office of village manager
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
And while he's signing that, I just want to say I truly believe what I said, that he is the right choice. He was selected from over 80 applicants for the position, went through a very rigorous recruitment, selection, interview process, background investigation, and I think he is going to fit here in Vernon Hills extremely well.
Okay. Then nobody else on staff has a speaking part tonight, correct? Okay, so then next item would be omnibus vote agenda. Is there a motion to approve items A through L?
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any comments or questions, concerns? Hearing none, roll call, please.
President Byrne, Trustees Markwart,
Aye.
Forster,
Aye.
Oppenheim,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Takaoka,
Aye.
Schenk.
Aye.
Motion carries. No unfinished additional business. Under new business, and we just have a couple of short things we've got to take care of here. Approval and passage of Resolution 2021-021, a resolution granting approval to operate an outdoor special event for the Chicago Bears located at 122 Hawthorn Center.
Thank you. And as the Bears representatives make their way to the lectern, and they'll give you some detail on what they're proposing. But in essence, Bears training camp is now at Hallis Hall. It's no longer in Bourbonnais. And their need is for parking. So they've partnered with the mall to allow for parking, fan parking that would cover 14 events that would start on July 29th and run through August 25th. Fans would park there, they'd be trolleyed to Hallis Hall for training camp, then back to Hawthorn Mall at the conclusion of training camp. And with that, I'll throw it over to the Bears representatives who can give you the details of their plan.
Great. My name is John Bostrom. I am the Senior Advisor of Operations and Safety for the Chicago Bears. Joining me today is Cliff Stein. He's our Senior Vice President, General Counsel, and our Director of Security, John Tarpey. So on behalf of the Chicago Bears, I want to thank the Village Board for allowing us to present today. We're very excited about hosting training camp at Hallis Hall with fans. Last year, there was a lot of planning that took place. Unfortunately, it came to a screeching halt in March or April, but this will truly be a first, and we're thrilled by it. So we do expect about 1,350 fans at each of, actually, there are 19 practices, 14 of which are public practices, and then the remaining 5 will be public events whereby we will need the assistance of parking at Hawthorn Center. The practices will begin July 29th through August 26th. The majority of the practices will take place on weekdays. There are 3 practices on 2 days that will take place on weekends. In the presentation packet, you should see a listing of those dates, okay, as well as the times. There are staggered times. All the practices will be held in the morning, and the goal is to have people off the Hallis Hall site by 12 noon each day. So our request is to be able to park vehicles at Hawthorn Center in a designated area. Right now, it's adjacent to the former Carson's location, with a secondary site being for overflow in the area adjacent to, well, actually between, that would be Macy's and JCPenney's. There will be entry. We're trying to streamline all people to enter through Route 60 due to the construction that's taking place on the east side. And we will have team-sponsored shuttles that will run, obviously, more ahead of practice and after practice, with designated pickup and drop-off areas, and then a dedicated area for ADA patrons. We will have fan services personnel, team personnel, and security. We've been in touch with Vernon Hills Police as well for support, and they will manage the entire operation. We have worked closely with management at Hawthorn and in order to put together a successful plan. This is another program to show connectivity between the Bears and Vernon Hills. And we really hope and expect that those people that do park at Hawthorn hit those shops, attend the restaurants, and from a timing standpoint, we feel that that is a possibility. And work out at Bears Fit, of course. Exactly, absolutely. Okay, and beyond Hawthorn as well, the Route 60 corridor and Milwaukee Avenue as well. So our plan has been reviewed by Mike as well as police, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, are there any questions from any board members?
Normally, I'm a ticket holder, so we used to go down to Bourbon A. You get about 1,350 is what your capacity is. What was Bourbon A? Number of,
Well, we've had numbers as high as 10,000, but we're restricted
so
to
will they
a number
know-
of 1,350.
Will they know before they park their car that it's full that day, or do they have to buy tickets ahead of time to know?
Yeah,
What's
there
the
will
process
be,
for that?
issuance of tickets will be ahead of time, and there will be an announcement this week as far as what the process is. Yeah, and then as far as parking, I mean, we've got 600 spaces in the main area, but with 1,350, doing some calculating, figure maybe 3 or 4 people per car.
Sure.
So we're not nearly at the 600.
I am just curious, do you have a way to keep from the same person buying tickets for every day to have it more
Yeah, our
open
ticket
for
office
everybody?
has a very structured program and has definitely kept that in mind, absolutely knowing that this number is relatively small as far as the number of people that can attend.
Any other trustee concerns? The inflatables you're going to have,
Yes,
are those going to be taken down then
Correct.
every afternoon?
correct. Those will be taken down. Anything that is kind of freestanding will be put into storage inside the Carson's empty building with permission from Hawthorn. And then it'll be brought out in the morning each day.
So they will only be up on the specific days that,
Correct, correct. Now, the banner on the fencing, which is temporary, that will remain
Yeah.
throughout the
no,
duration. But
my
anything,
concern was the inflatables because I don't want to, I want to make sure that we understand that this is an event, a
yes,
special event as opposed to, advertising for the Bears and that,
yes, yes, sir.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
we're fairly clear on that. I mean, we were
We
checking.
can, yeah, you know what we'll do? I'll revise the ordinance to make it to add the condition that at the conclusion of each day's event, the inflatables and various other Bears product will be taken down and stored overnight, and then reassembled the next morning. I can add that to the resolution prior to signature.
So that, just to be clear, that also includes the flag signage as well. Those are going to be taken down.
Those feathered flags,
Yeah,
yes, sir,
feathered flags,
yes.
okay.
We can easily do that.
Okay. Anybody else have any concerns? Then what's the motion you're looking for?
Motion to approve the resolution attached to your packet approving the outdoor special event with the addition of the condition that all Bears equipment be taken down at the conclusion each day event.
Motion to approve then.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, roll call, please.
President Byrne, trustees Markwart,
Aye.
Forster. Aye. Oppenheim,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye,
Takaoka,
Aye.
Schenk.
Aye.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Glad to have you in
Thank
town.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No. And I got blamed for that.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
You found it.
you found out I didn't take Frosty, so. Okay, next item is approval and passage of Resolution 2021-022, a resolution authorizing the village president and village clerk to execute an engagement letter with Chapman and Cutler for legal services relating to the Hawthorn Mall redevelopment agreement.
I think Mark may stay to find out who kidnapped Frosty. We might have a special project for him.
No, I
Tell
was
me all
proved,
about
I was proved
Insulting
innocent. I was opposed to that sign, but it was not me who deflated him.
We found his body in the trunk of the car, but the
Down in
suspect had
Lincolnshire,
never
it
been
wasn't my
found.
car either.
It was a station wagon, I thought.
Yeah, wasn't me.
So relative to this item, before the board is a resolution authorizing the village president to execute an engagement letter with Chapman and Cutler to serve as bond counsel for the Hawthorn Mall redevelopment project and under the redevelopment agreement. As bond counsel, Chapman and Cutler will have multiple tasks. One of the major tasks will be to issue tax-exempt opinions relative to over $31 million of the TIF notes, which was a negotiated item that was very important to the developer. In order to do that, you have to have qualified bond counsel to issue a tax-exempt opinion under the Internal Revenue Code. Other tasks they'll perform will include the issuance and drafting of notes and securities once the project is completed. Additionally, they have prepared the trust indenture as well as the note ordinance and sales tax ordinances that we have seen most recently. They've assisted throughout in terms of the redevelopment agreement to be sure we weren't stepping into areas that the Internal Revenue Code would not smile upon in terms of the tax-exempt opinions. So before you is the engagement letter to retain them and their services. I do want to remind the board that all of the fees for village council, including Kleinthorpe and Jenkins, Chapman and Cutler, as well as village financial consultants, which includes Kane McKenna, are being paid by the developer in advance of the final execution of the redevelopment agreement, which will be next week. So with that, we'd ask for a motion to approve Resolution 2021-022.
So made.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, roll call, please.
President Byrne, trustees Markwart,
Aye.
Forster. Aye. Oppenheim.
Aye.
Cook,
Aye,
Takaoka,
Aye.
Schenk.
Aye.
motion carries. Okay, so that's it, and we're ready to adjourn to the, okay. All right, then, in that case, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion, a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.
Last time I sit in this chair, dude.
So happy for you. Thank you. So happy.
As opposed as I was, Frosty, I did